YouTube, we're back! Subterror is here and hopefully top tier. So we got a bunch of new support for the deck. Now, for information, I do not have the third field spell yet, so that's why I'm not playing it. We're going to go over the new deck right now. So first of all, new support for Subterror, we got Guru. So Guru has a couple effects. When it's flipped up, can add any Subterror card from deck to hand. Cannot add Hidden City because that is not a Subterror card. But it can add Final Battle, Fiendus, Nemesis Warrior, Ultra Flumis, Umastrix, whatever you want from deck to hand, except itself. Also, while you control another Subterror card, you can target itself and a Subterror you control or your opponent's monster. Book of Moon, both of those monsters, so very, very good. Next, we have what I think is the most broken card in the deck, Subterror Fiendus. So Fiendus is really, really strong. Basically, this thing is an Omni Negate. While you control face-up Subterror, you can flip that down and discard this card. Basically, negate the activation of any card. Very, very, very good. Yeah. And then, keep in mind, this doesn't necessarily destroy it. So, if there's a monster effect, they activate in the field, it will not destroy that monster. Second, this has another effect. Also, you could, on summon, you can flip this down to defense. And then you can special summon a Subterror monster from your hand. Or graveyard and face up, face down defense. This is really good for the recovery. So you can use that to get that recovery going. So really, really strong on that behalf. Also, like I said, it's very good because it's a combo that you can do to summon one from the hand and get your Umastrix into play early on. So that's really, really good as well. So that could also combo off with that. So basically what you need to know is this could revive for the grave special from the hand, or just Omni Negate out of the hand, which makes this a fantastic card. You can play this at 2 or 3. I do have 3. I cut it down to 2, but I might go back up to 3 very, very quickly. Next, we play Ultra Flumis. So this is basically a Book of Eclipse. This thing, if you're worried about birds, will destroy birds. Basically, you want to summon this to your field. And then on turn 2, if you reveal, I'll go over the skill in a second, you'll understand why. But if you flip this up, does not matter. Just Book of Eclipses everything in the field. We don't care that Nightingale is untargetable, and then we'll be able to deal with it easily after that. Then on top of it, we are playing one Nemesis Warrior, just as another level 4 target. You could absolutely cut this if you want to, just for your skill, which I'll go over in a second. Next, we have 2 copies of our field spell, the Hidden City. So actually, let me expand this out for you guys, because this might be a little bit easier for you guys to see. So we have 2 copies of our field spell, the Hidden City. So this card is very, very good for Subterrors. So on search, it is on activation. It's basically a Rhoda. Adds any Subterror monster from deck to hand. Once per turn, you can change any face-down Subterror monster you control to face-up defense or attack position, instantly triggering their effects when needed. Very good with Guru turn 1 because you set your Guru, activate your field spell, flip your Guru, and then get your search off. Then, also once per turn, on declaration, when your opponent declares an attack, you can negate that attack. Now, keep in mind, this does not need to attack a Subterror monster. So, if Nightingale wants to attack directly, you can negate that attack. That does not target. So, very, very good. Also, you have to change the face-down defense position Subterror to attack when that happens. But that is generally not a big deal for you. Next, we are playing 3-Potted Duality. Why not? This deck does not special summon a ton. So, this can help us see our staples and tech cards as well as our engine. Then we play 3 Dogmatic of Punishment because this card is so strong. Just because it can essentially be Treacherous Trap. Well, since we don't summon any extra news, say, well, how is that? Well, because we play our Elder Entity Intis. So Intis has the ability of just when this card is sent from the extra deck to the graveyard, pop any card in the field. Well, with 2500 attack, if we pop anything with 2500 or less, Dogmatic of Punishment will destroy it. And then since Intis goes to the grave, we just get to pop essentially for free. So Intis becomes very strong with our Dogmatic of Punishments. Then we play 2 Final Battle. So this card is absolutely crazy if you do not know what it does. Final Battle allows you to do essentially 4 different effects, but you can only use one. You can activate one of these effects, but multiple Final Battle on the same turn. So 1 Final Battle effect per copy of a card, but you can activate multiple copies in that turn. So it can either book your Subterror on the field, it can flip it face up, you can, in damage step, gain attack or defense equal to its original attack or defense, so vice versa. So for example, if you have your Mostrix with 2700, they attack into it, you gain 2000 defense attack, and you go up to a whopping 47 defense, or vice versa. If you're attacking, you can gain the 2700 defense and become up to 4700 and threaten lethal damage. On top of it, the fourth effect is it prevents any of your Subterrors cannot be negated. So if they want to veil you, you say, Then, next we are playing a very toxic card, I believe, in Powersink Stone. Basically, each time a monster effect is activated, place a spellstone counter on this. While it has 2 or more counters, your opponent cannot activate any effects of monsters on the field. Also, they are negated. So conveniently, if you're up against Bird, and they activate 2 monster effects, it will floodgate Nightingale out of having any of its effects. And also, if they wanted to amnesty it, you have your Fiendus conveniently in hand, so they cannot do that. And by the time they get to, generally most of the time, by the time they get to a Promenade Thrush, you will be able to say, hey, you are not doing that. You already have 2 counters on it, so you could stop them from resolving their Promenade Thrush. Hence, they cannot spin this back into the deck. And what's even better is that if you add this thing on the field, you can use your own effects to not lighten it up, but to get it going. How? Because you could activate Final Battle to trigger your Subterror effects on your opponent's turn. Or you could even use your Fiendus, which will activate in the hand, and also do that as well. So proc it as effect counters on it. Now what's also very relevant about this is keep in mind it will not stop effects that activate in the graveyard or in the hand. So if they want to activate like a Sapphire Swallow, or you face like a Liquid Soldier in the graveyard, that will not stop it, or any of the Salamangrates in the grave. If you go up against something like Salamangrate, now I know the deck is just getting hit, but they're 3-0 below the ladder, so keep that in mind. Foxy will not stop this, and Foxy will activate the grave and pop it, but Fiendus can say no to Foxy, so keep that in mind. Another thing that's very relevant is this deck can miss the timing. So if you're not aware of missing the timing and what it means, basically when you talk about something called missing the timing, it means that when you have something as a wet effect, that effect has to be the last thing in a chain to resolve. So for example, if you activate something like Final Battle, and you go to flip down your Subterror, and you wonder why you can't summon big boys from your hand, it's because the last thing that happened is Final Battle resetting itself. Which I didn't go over, is that Final Battle can reset itself whenever it activates itself. So whenever it activates, it resets itself, but unfortunately causes your Subterrors to miss the timing in the hand. So keep that in mind. So the ones I want to go over, I'm just going to go over a few more of the effects. So if you don't know, Umastrix has the effect, when flipped, to target any monster in the field, banish it. Now, if you set down your Cobalt, if you set it down, then, so if you talk about something like birds, if you flip this thing down, right, or flip it back up, it's going to forget it, you can then banish their Nightingale. Or, in this case, Ultra Flumus, like I said, is a Book of Eclipse. So you have the Book of Eclipse, and you add that to beat your birds, and yeah. So against Hero, generally you want to end on Ultra Flumus, because it prioritizes that being face down, so you can Book of Eclipse their entire field. Also, because your monsters are face down, they can't say Arm Drag and go pop, 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 pop. And if you can keep all your monsters face down, well then, they also can't super poly you. So keep that in mind. So this skill has very different effects. During your turn, you cannot normal summon or special summon except for blah, 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 blah. Subterrors. Okay, going on. Now, reveal 1 level 4 Subterror in your hand. Then you get to set either the Hidden City or Final Battle to your field. So, immediately, you get these 2 on your field. So whatever one you need to complete your combo, you could do. Hidden City is, like I said, is a set of Rhoda from the deck. Very, very good. Hidden City, you can only activate 1 a turn, so don't try to activate more than 1. And then Final Battle says, woohoo, do all those effects. Now, the second part of the skill is also really good as well. And that is, if your opponent controls a level monster and you do not, you can play 1 level 5 or higher Subterror from your deck, hand or deck and face down defense. And that could be on your turn if you go second. Now, keep in mind, you have to set from the hand to do this. If you do not set in City or Final Battle from the hand, it's not really worded well enough, it will not work, and you'll be sitting there scratching your end. Why didn't your big boss monster come on the field? So, keep... Okay, so that's the video. Hope you guys loved it. We're going to be doing a con climb very shortly. Trying out some new decks. Hope to see you guys there. Give me about a little bit. Yeah, so please like, comment, sub if you enjoyed this video. Until next time, it's your boy, Sean Matrai, signing out. Bye, YouTube!